All right, haven't made a video in a while, but it's getting cold out, so we need to take care of our hands as weightlifters. That's our only connection to the bar. We need to make sure they stay in good shape. Number one, if you feel a rip coming on, make sure it doesn't happen, right? Don't rip your hands. It's not cool. It doesn't make you look cool. It doesn't make you look tough. Don't rip your hands. So use straps on snatch and clean pulls, perhaps on your hang lifts, and if your hands are really getting bad enough, use straps even on the classic lifts. Thumb tape can be really helpful. I don't use it all the time, but there's plenty of lifters who do use it all the time. And if your thumbs are getting really raw, it will prevent you, hopefully, from ripping. So use thumb tape when necessary. When you go outside, wear gloves. This will keep your hands from drying out in the cold weather. There's really no reason not to wear gloves. It's super easy. When you're done kneading chalk on your hands at the gym, use soap. Wash your hands with warm soap and water. The whole point of chalk is to keep the moisture off your hands, and if you leave it on your hands after your session, your hands are going to dry out. So make sure you use a moisturizing soap. Ideally, this is Dove, but any sort of moisturizing soap is probably better than an antibacterial hand soap. So if possible, use a moisturizing soap, but if not possible, just wash your hands. Outside of the gym, I would say avoid washing your hands more than you need to. You got to be hygienic. You got to keep yourself clean. So, wash your hands after you use the bathroom and everything, but don't wash your hands more than you need to, because that's a good way to dry out your hands. As far as hand care products go, use a paste like Bag Balm or maybe Burt's Bees or something like that. I would avoid using lotions. As lotions dry, they dry out your hands and they can make them easier to crack and whatnot. So I would use something pasty like this. I put it on my hands before I go to bed at night, and that keeps them moisturized. You can put it on whenever. I just don't like touching stuff throughout the day while I have this on my hands. Before I leave the gym, after I've washed my hands and before I put my gloves on, they make it in these little tubes now, and I'll put a little bit on my hands, especially the problem areas that I know like to rip easier than the other areas. So use a paste type moisturizing cream. And then you can use something like a pumice stone or a callus shaver or sandpaper, pretty much anything rough to shave down your calluses, to make sure there's less stuff to rip off if you do rip. If you're gonna pick your calluses, make sure you pick them down and not up towards this little crease. If you pick a callus up towards this little crease, you're gonna expose that. There's gonna be raw skin underneath there, and it's not gonna feel very good. So if you're gonna pick your calluses, pick them down away from that crease. Finally, if you do rip, you're gonna want some athletic tape, and you're gonna wanna poke a hole in it right in the middle and wear that hole over your finger like a ring, and then you can drape that tape down on either side of your hand and tape it around your wrist so it's not flapping around. But if you try and just go around your hand, that's never gonna work. It's never gonna stay. So don't use the same tape as your thumb tape. Use regular athletic tape, poke a hole in it and wear it over your hand like a ring, drape it down. There's better demonstrations of that in other videos. But that's all I have to say about hand care. Keep this stuff in mind, especially in cold weather, because you don't want to have ripped hands. It's just, a dumb excuse to not train hard. So keep your hands in shape. Bye.